privy here. It's literally just a stall. Good morning, it's day 44 maybe. There's actually a ton of good camping sites at this shelter. You just have to walk a little bit for some of them. So today there's a shelter in 8 miles and one I think in 13 miles. So we'll see how I'm feeling. But I've also read on Far Out that the second shelter is very windy. There's one thing I can't stand, it's wind at night. So today, coming out of the shelter, there is a big climb up to the first peak, which I know I'm going downhill, but it's gonna go back up. And then it goes down to a gap, and then we go back up to Max Patch, and then down to the shelter. I'm thinking that I might try to stealth camp a little past the shelter, just because I don't know if I can go quite as far as the second shelter, but it's also supposed to be windy up there, and I don't want to deal with the wind. Hot Springs was 26 miles away, I think, this morning. So getting very close now. This is at the top of the first hill. I don't know where this trail starts. It kind of looks like here, but except for the AT, there's nothing super clear. I think I'm 2 or 3 miles into today. Started at 9, which is kind of late, but it's chilly in the morning and I don't want to get out. And then by 11, it's super muggy and hot. This is Brown Gap. Trail comes down this side, goes up the other side. This side looks pretty steep. Looks like there's a couple stealth sites over here. And the description says that there's a pipe spring too. So, oh, I can even see it. I don't know if there's water down there, but it's kind of the last source before the north side of Max Patch. Max Patch is 3.5 away. Shelter is 5.5. All uphill, all the time. This is pretty steep. And even after I get up here, there's a bunch of ups and downs before we actually get to Max Patch. It is 12:30. Max Patch is 0.8 away. Roaring Fork is 2.9. Water. I don't need water, but maybe I should get water. I still have 1 liter. To climb down there to get it. There is indeed water. If you walk down the trail for more than 5 seconds, you actually cross over the river or the creek. I already have 1 liter. I don't want to carry 2 liters up there. Oh. We're almost there. This is the last 0.4 up to Max Patch. It's a pretty nice day out, so it might be a little crowded up there. Hopefully this trail stays like this. That'll be really nice, especially after that climb out of the one gap. This is going to be an awesome view up there. The trail goes up. You might be able to see the little marker kind of in the middle. And I guess it might go like that way. Maybe just down the other side. I don't know. not quite at the top yet. It's a lot of stairs. And it's 60 something, maybe 70 now. Guess people are making their own trails up here. So for anyone who doesn't know, there's currently a 2-year ban on camping on Max Patch because people were just leaving so much trash and pretty much destroying the landscape up here. So that expires next year, I believe. And I don't know if this damage is directly related to it, but the trail is super close to a parking lot, so anyone can come up here. Through hikers, day hikers, section hikers. And not everyone respects the nature, even though that's the whole point of even coming up here. Respect the rattlesnakes and ticks' privacy. You know what? Ticks can get wrecked, okay? Snakes, okay. Ticks, no. See why so many people would come up here. This has to be an amazing sunrise and sunset, but everyone just thinks about their one actions and not how everyone doing the same thing is gonna eventually cause problems. Like, one person didn't make this track, this is thousands of people. One last peek before we keep going. I almost booked a stay at in Hot Springs, but I want to see how far I actually get today before I commit, because in order to get into Hot Springs there's 2 kind of mountains you gotta get over, and I can probably get over them easy, but it just makes me nervous committing to something and not knowing if I'll be there or not. Let's Max Patch up there. Get an awesome view going down, I guess into the woods. Looked like it was mostly downhill to the shelter, and then there's some streams a little past that. It looks like on far out there's some unofficial campsites there, so I'll probably try to go there. Because it's, I think, 2:30, maybe 3 o'clock, and the shelter's only 2 miles away. A bunch of clouds have moved in, so the temperature has dropped. I don't know if significantly is the right word, but I'm no longer sweating buckets, so it's much cooler than it was. It's probably so shaky. There's water. I still have my liter. I'm not very good at drinking water. One of my least favorite things is when you go to step in the mud and the mud is cold and it gets in your shoe and then your foot's just cold and wet, but not for very long because I have wool socks, so they do a pretty good job of keeping feet warm. Random fence out here. And what looks like some camping spots. And that might even be Max Patch through the trees. Nice. Hidden Trail Oasis. I don't know where that's supposed to be in the middle of these woods, but okay. It seems like the free candy trap for adults. Gap to the world of lemons. Does that mean there's a lemon tree? Or is it Lemon Gap? Or is that the free beer place? This is the Roaring Fork shelter. Does not appear that anyone is here. It's 3 o'clock, so that could be why. Do not build fires under the roof. Surrounding the shelter are planted a number of blight-resistant American chestnut trees in honor of Howard McDonald, upstanding trail builder and trail maintainer, who also designed and led the building of the shelter. Nice. Pretty cool. There's a mailbox. I wonder if the trail register is in here. It looks like it is. This is a decent sized privy, unlike the one from last night. I am not a particularly tall person, but my knees were touching the door because it was so small. I don't know if you can call it a fall because I only went down on one knee, but one of my trekking poles got stuck in the dirt and pulled me off balance, and then this one got stuck here under the root, so I couldn't save myself, and now it hurts a little bit. There's tons of water on this side. The other side of Max Patch doesn't really have anything. I mean, there's a couple streams, but like this is, you get water every so often and then drink it and then have more water ready to go. So it's 4 o'clock. I'm still a little ways away from the spot that I want to go to. I'm hoping there's no one else there, or if there is, they don't mind me joining in, because the next thing to do after that is to climb the mountain up to the shelter, which I don't want to do. I've had enough of climbing for today. Hopefully, far out says there's a lot of space there, so should be fine. There's rain in the forecast tomorrow, and then the day after it's thunderstorms, so I'm trying to get as close to hot springs as possible. I still need to book somewhere. I was looking at Laughing Heart. Ooh, mud. I was looking at Laughing Heart, and they have really good prices, and they had availability when I looked, but just because they have availability now doesn't mean they'll have it next time I have signal. Because I didn't want to book it until I kind of figured out where I was going to be for tonight, just in case I didn't get as far as I thought. But there's also a bunch of other places to stay, so I'm not super worried about it, even if it is a little more expensive. Today's mileage is 11.63 to this kind of stealth site at 260. There's a little creek back here that you can't see. There's a couple other people here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.